So we continue today with 2010 Daily Companion, my entries for that. Feel free to comment, question. I would have done this live and maybe, if I had more subscribers and fielded questions and that sort of thing. And there's always videos on the various subjects that I'm reading, listening, and practicing in regards. So on October the 24th, 2010, 10:33 a.m. to 12:42 p.m., meditate with J.D. Hall, Jews 10. 5:13 to 5:43 p.m., same meditation. I watched Awakening the Heart. I listened to Islamic Point of View, Muhammad Najib, What Would Happen If Knowledge was without faith, or I think. So read the end of Surah 44, that big black Quran with the commentary there. Abdul-Bari, Surah 38 through 41, I listened to that. And so let me start by saying something in regards to belief. Okay, there's disbelief, belief, faith, and knowledge. Some people may be surprised to realize that there are different things. Belief is something inferred. You heard of it, it's been passed on, it's been said, you just accept it. Faith is when you have reason attached to it. And knowledge is when there's, but a lot of people, their knowledge isn't knowledge of what they say it is. They're philosophizing something that doesn't, that's not the case. Do I have to deny people's experiences to say that? No. But so on the 25th, read Surah 42 to 45. Listen to Abdul-Bari, Surah 42 through 45, Fahim al-Quran, Part 4 of 28 through 30. So that would be 67 through 114. And the end of Surah 45, that Quran, 9:11 to 10:43 a.m., 10:48 through 11:58 a.m., meditate with J.D. Hall, Jews 11. Maybe I fell asleep the first time. That's why that was listed. But Orange Scent Offering, Fertility. Watched Awakening the Heart 3. Pure Zia Inayat Khan. Sufism's Contribution to Planetary Culture. Now, Sufism being based somewhat in Islam, you have, that's its contribution. Islam is supposed to confirm and accept the truth that has came and to invite us towards the continuing science. So Sufism is like a version of that where you don't fully have to, where you tend not to have to fully accept Islam. You just accept that principle of Islam and some else. I'm not sure how much of Islam you have to accept to be a Sufi, but most Sufi orders, about half of Sufis aren't Muslim. On the 26th, I also watched that program. Watched The Gates of Hell, The Sleep Study of Abdul Ghani, Surah 34. I listened to Abdul-Bari, Surah 46 to 49. I read some of the Shiite Creed by Abd Allah ibn Muhammad. And I've already talked about that book. And one of the things also is that, of course I would have mentioned something like, the Shia-Sunni split was long after the events happened, about the 740s in opposition to the Umayyads, you have what you could call the Shia as a distinct group. But the Khawarij and then the Ibadi came before them, if you're going to say chronological order. And about 750, in the 750s, you had the historical founding of the Sunnis. But the differences in reality are mostly, the Khawarij, things were different. But other than them, groups like them, it's basically what you say about scholars and political leaders and stuff after Muhammad died. And I think that's the weakest reason to divide upon sects that you're pretty much ever going to find on religion. It's like, oh, well, we agree on the revelation and the inspiration, but the politics about what happened after the Athin Logos, as the Gnostics would have called them. What happened afterwards, well, that's what we're dividing over. So on the 27th, Tawheed or Sufism, Sheikh Muhammad Adli. I met him recently. The fact that his books have been used to, we have a slightly different opinion to this guy, so we're going to give him a book. The guy's a lot more chill than one would expect. If I ever make it out to Columbia, South Carolina, or I see him when he's traveling somewhere, I'll probably be able to interview him for this channel. He basically said he would. I made a burnt offering. 6:46 to 9 p.m. Is that okay? Meditated with J.D. Hall, Jews 12 of 30. Listened to Abdul Bari, Surah 50 to 53. I watched Awakening the Heart, Program 3, and Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, I tried to symbolically work watching Nightmare Before Christmas. Again, on the 28th, I watched Sufism's Contribution to Planetary Culture. I meditated with J.D. Hall, Jews 13, 10:30 a.m. to 12:38 p.m. Abdul Bari, Surah 54 to 57. Read to 1504, so the end of Surah 46. And on the Friday, Abdul Bari, Surah 58 through 61, Jasmine Scent Offering, representing aphrodisiac. Some of the symbolism and context of a scent, of making scent offerings is rather ambiguous, but it's my own thoughts associated with the cards, and that has nothing to do with who I was talking to, obviously. A discussion about Sufism with the next door neighbor. I read a Handbook of Living Religion, page 123 to 170. Okay, which Sleep Study on Abdul Ghani, Surah 8. All four to Welch. Oh, I watched Sufism's Contribution to Planetary Culture. I watched that again on the Saturday, the 30th, and I watched half of Enigma, half of Engineering an Empire, Mayan Death Cult. The Mayans are a group that you can trace the language use from one group to, Spanish and Catholic culture. Decoding the Ancient Mysteries, The Lost Ark. Listen to Abdul Bari, Surah 62 to 65. I read page 475 to 528 of Dennis McEoin's A Handbook of Living Religions. And so, okay, here's a spread. So, I mean, it's not like, oh, this is the future, this is the past, and that sort of thing. But card 1 would be before, and that would be the north core. That'd be the core, and to the south, we'd have the conflict card. And to the east, we'd have the awareness card. Oh, well, the awareness card would come second. So north, east, south, west, center. The west to be seen as the answer, and I have been ostracized by the polytheist and the arrogant. And here is the runes. So not the runes, the Oghams. Is that how you pronounce? I thought it was Oghams, but I was watching a program and someone was saying it was Oghams. So Oghams, the Oghams, Beth Luz Eon. So we have an analytical set and an intuitive set. And there's other symbolism, which I have gone into, but that's it with that. On the 31st of October, which, let's be real, Halloween was originally a Catholic holiday to compete with something that happened after I turned the page. Here. The cross quarter of November. The old calendars all show it. The Christians invented Halloween, Lammas, Candlemas, May Day, St. Walpurgis Night, St. John's Day, various other things to compete with the seasonal holidays. And in a little over a week, I will be practicing some version of something for a seasonal bit. But I will probably, if it's available, I'm going on a little trip to do a little video. I'm not even sure which state, but something, hopefully. I watched Awakening the Heart, Program 4. Kenneth Anger 2, Scorpio Rising. I knew things were coming, so I blanked, and there was other things in that series. Not blinked. You know what I mean? I didn't. I closed my eyes, knowing, oh, I know I've seen this before. This is the part. No, I don't want to see that. Yeah, the gay jokes with Jesus were a bit too much. I read My Turn to Speak, I through XV. Abdul Hassan Bani Sabr, former president of Iran. Oh, that's a good one that kind of that shows the problem with westernization and how they blame, and it indicates how people blame Islam for westernization, and they say, oh, you better westernize, and all the problems turn out to be, not all the problems, obviously, but basically the problems tend to be westernization, like the outlawing of chess and stuff like this, and the Marxism, and yeah. Poblano Scent Offering. Interesting, it's like the pre-grapefruit plant, or is it a post-grapefruit plant? I think the Poblano came first. Yeah. I started my Samhain collage. I know it says Samhain, but that's how it's spelled, but it's pronounced Samhain. Okay. Sorry about the lack of clarity. I'll listen to Abdul Bari Surah 66 through 72, Bahamut Quran 6. Oh, J6 must mean the part 6 of 30. On November the 1st, which they called All Saints Day. And that's what Halloween was, is the sunset before that. Orange Scent Offering, Fertility, Surah 73, 78 of the Abdul Bari. It's Arabic and English. I finished pasting part of my fall collage. I watched Awakening the Heart 4. I don't remember who I gave what to. The Austera collage went to my father. The collage for Imbolc went to my father. My mother got the Yule collage. I think my sister got the Samhain collage. I'm not sure how it breaks down or which years I made which, but here we're having indication that the Samhain one was made in 2010. I watched Awakening the Heart 4. So Pir Shabda. I read page 1519. That would be Surah 47:38. And page 1 to 54, My Turn to Speak, Abul Hassan Beni Sadr. 12 to 12:35 p.m., I meditated with J.D. Hall, Jews 14. I wrote out Surah 67, ayat 2, 29, ayat 32, and 38 and 33. I watched Awakening the Heart, Program 4. And on the 3rd, I would have also watched that, the Golden Sufi Center. I tried to listen. I gave up a couple years ago or something, listening to all the Golden Sufi audio programs and the Nurakashi Jarahi Sufi Order programs. I meditated with J.D. Hall, Jews 15, 11:22 a.m. to 12:25 p.m. Sleep Sea on Abdul Ghani, Surah 14. Rose Scent Offering, representing love. Elam Satyavam, is that garlic? So obviously I was cooking, right? I did the abbreviated letter right, 209 to 221, and could have been my last trip to the park for the year. I read 1538, so that's the end of Surah 48 of that Quran translation commentary up there. On the 4th of November, which was a Thursday, I read 1548, which is the end of Surah 49 of that translation. Abbreviated letter right, 2:45 to 2:58 p.m. and 1:50 to 2:06 p.m. Discussion with the neighbor of some sort. Friday, October. Okay, I listened to Abdul Bari, Surah 80 through 89. Friday, the October the 17th, 2008. Oh, that is the Sufi program that I was watching. The Sleep CD on Abdul Ghani, Surah 35. And so on the Friday, I read 55 to 104 of My Turn to Speak, Abul Hassan Beni Sadr. I meditated with J.D. Hall, Jews 18, so 2:41 to 3:04 p.m. I watched Dances of Universal Peace and interviews. So basically the guy would have some sort of remembrance chant in one language or another, and he'd come up with a random dance about it. The Carolinas have meetings of that group, but you don't know whether you'll be a practicing Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist, or you don't know what you're going to what religion you're going to be practicing technically, in a different way by dancing, in a particular fashion. it's an interesting thing, but that's one of the ways people can say Sufism is like, well, there's some tie to Islam somewhere, but sometimes it takes a while to think. And of the conservative groups associated with Islam, the Sufis have, the gun zawiyas, and, well, I mean, not all of them, but they're the most prone to extremism and such because they're unquestioned following of the Sheikh rather than trying to be direct or trying to see, are these time-tried traditions or whatever the other thing. And there tends to be a lot of Sufis that don't do their social work, but let's not judge all the Sufis based on some things that happen. Listen to Surah 90 to 99 of Abdul-Bari, Vetiver, scent offering representing commanding. And on the Saturday, Surah 100 through 114, page 105 through 150 of the My Turn to Speak, Sufi Conference number 4. I went to the Quran lecture at Masjid Ad-Nur at that Saturday night. Now, I didn't always list that, but sometimes I did. Vetiver scent offering representing psychic protection, and I installed the installation of the Samhain psychopomp. So the decorations and sort of things. Although they could have had the Halloween clearance, and they could have had that thing I put on the door, that door ringer. I've got a bone to pick with you. Something and something. I can't feel my legs. I'm not sure whether one of my neighbors was annoyed with it and stole it from me, or they liked it and stole it from me because I had a really bad headache one night, and this thing, I heard it being taken away, and I couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, don't steal from people just because you don't like their door hangers. I read page 100. So on the 7th, I read page 151 to 224. My Turn to Speak, Iran. I watched Awakening the Heart 5. The Revelation, A Secret Deal with Hell. Okay, well that sounds enough of a thing. Scraping faces with razor blades and beating people up for having a chess set and other garbage like that. 9:58 to 11:56. 11:50. The Ek Worship Service. So the October 21st to 24th conference talk. The Year of the Student Teacher. I wrote out some verses. Now, right now I'm writing out Genesis, but, often I wrote out verses for ceremonies or something. Listen to Bayan al-Quran. Dr. Israr Ahmed, was it? I'll just say I listened to the intro. Surah 1, yeah, so the intro in Surah 1. Oh, I shared with the death about the destiny. On the 8th, I watched Awakening the Heart, Program 5, Pact with the Devil. Wrote out a verse from John. I watched the Crusades. I watched the Crescent and the Cross. Now, if you're going to look for a source for Islamic extremism, copying the Christians and copying the West, well, it's not Islamic extremism, but it's Muslims that are fed up, that are willing to violate certain principles, saying, well, the West did it, and how else are we supposed to react? And that's, so stuff happens. Hebrews, Timothy, Galatians, John. Okay, I wrote Sleep Sidi Al-Dolgani, Surah 20. Read to the end of Surah 50 of that big old Quran out there. 9:45, J.D. Hall, Jews 19, 9:45 p.m. to 12:57 p.m. Okay, that doesn't make sense. A.m.? A.m. makes more sense. The 9th, I watched Awakening the Heart. The interview of Peter Kingsley, very depressing sort of guy, but interesting philosopher nonetheless. On the 9th, I read to the end of Surah 51 with that one. 10 to 11:21 a.m. Meditated with the J.D. Hall, Jews 20. Isra Ahmed's Bayan al-Quran, Surah 3. The next day, 4. So 2 would have been what I listed for the 8th. Orange scent offering, representing weddings. Remember, in the Bible, the first commandments are get married, have sex, have children. I mean, it's not worded exactly like this, and I remember someone's like, well, that's not exactly it. It's like, well, that is sort of what they're saying. But anyways. So the 4th on the 10th. And I listened to Fahim al-Quran, Jews 9 of 30. Did I read? Okay, read to 53. So 52 on the 10th. Then to Surah 52 on the 10th. 7:23 to 11:07 p.m. The 23rd, 10:05, Juice 23 of the J.D. Hall, 10:05 to 10:54 a.m., 8:10 to 8:34 a.m., Juice 22, and Juice 24, 6:49 to 7:15 p.m. I watched Awakening the Heart, the interview with Peter Kingsley, and Pact with the Devil. And I don't have to agree with everything people say. I've tried to do more than an outline. I try to respond and say, well, what about this and that sort of thing. But I let people share their experiences and their opinions. That's the purpose of the interviews, to get some variety and say, how I'm, obviously I'm going to say something, but it's obviously to record that information, because whether a celebrity or somebody, a local or something, the opinions are not terribly, but anyways, read to the Surah to 1576, so 72:49, the end of Surah 52, yeah. Orange, oregano scent offering, representing animals. I don't know. On November 11th, rose scent offering, representing transformation. Megadalus communis, I'm not sure what that is, but aphrodisiac scent offering. I watched Interview with Peter Kingsley, Pact with the Devil. Peter Kingsley was part of the Awakening the Heart series. Quran, Jews 10, and something, Isra Ahmed, Surah 5. And so the end of Surah 53 with that Quran. The interview with Peter Kingsley again on the Friday the 12th. Pact with the Devil. Read to the end of Surah 54 in that Quran. Bayan al-Quran, Surah 6. Obviously, I'm, like the Surah 2, it's like 13 hours, so I didn't listen to that all once, but eventually I catch up by the time I finish writing it. Fahim al-Quran, Jews 11 of 30, obviously. Lime scent offering, representing contact other planes. It's very easy to have a symbolically rich life. Just start looking at the symbolism of the food that you're involving yourself with. On the Saturday, the 13th, read to 1607, so the end of Surah 55, and said Subha with my father thrice. That's another thing that, I would say it by myself, and I would say it with my father. I wouldn't always list it out when we said it, but it would be a good indicator. And these verses of love by and for God, me and my father went over them and talked about them. But these sort of entries, even if it's something I would do on my own, it was a good indicator of when my father was visiting. And Bayana Prawn, Surah 7. Lime scent offering representing love. Watch Pact with the Devil, Awakening the Heart 5. And Sleep CD on Abdul Ghani, Surah 22. And there's not going to be enough space for anything more really here. But having a variety of knowledge and knowing about different paths is an important thing. If you don't agree with something, it doesn't mean you can't interact with it. Of course, my intention, if I watch, if I turn on the TV and the Christ Mass or the Easter Vigils on, obviously my intention isn't as a Christian, but, and you can talk about Satanism, you can talk about secret societies, you can talk about a lot of things, and respectfully. But armchair anthropology is not what I'm doing. As many entries as you have, and it's like, where are all your books? It's like, well, see with time. See what I present and talk about and share my experiences of over time. And I admit, I can't know it all. I can't experience it all. And I certainly can't express it all. But I'm going to try to do what I can do.